Welcome to a new September pack leak. Unlike the last leak for the September pack, this is one of 3 of the new main deck types to be pushed on the main banner. There will be an animation as there is with everything else. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. And the leak is, I'm also going to show you deck lists and meta relevance, if it were good or not in the TCG and OCG. That is...
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Ragnarika is here, and it is top tier in my hands with the single card of the Evil Seed. What can you do? And I'm going to show you top deck list, the meta relevance on the tier list, and all that good stuff. Now, be careful when looking at TCG guides because they have their Dryas limited to 1, their Sunvine Healer limited to 1, so their combos are going to be different. They're going to have to compensate in different ways. So this is mostly what I'm showing you, an OCG combo, which may be more relevant in Master Duel for what we're going to do, as we're going to play the deck at 40 cards instead of 60. They're playing Plant Pile with Aroma because of all the cards being restricted, so they're forced to pretty much do that. But because we have triple Dryas and Sunvine Healer, this may be the better way, as this is the way the OCG plays the deck. So with a single Evil Seed, we're going to on-summon search for 2 Sunvine cards. We're going to be able to banish one of them, banishing the Samurai Beetle. Let me slow this down, Jesus. And then with the Ragnarika Bloom, we can activate it as a continuous spell to reborn our banished Samurai Beetle back onto the field. Link 2 into the Skeleton Soldier, which will trigger the Beetle to reborn from the graveyard our Evil Seed. Now we're going to use the Link 2 Skeletal Soldier to reborn from the grave of Ragnarika. And what did we accomplish here with 1 card? We have 2 plants on the field to now make an Aroma Jasmine. Aroma Jasmine is going to tribute a monster she's pointing to, so it does matter where you summon your cards to summon a Lone Fire from the deck, and it's important to summon your Lone Fire far away from over here. Now the Lone Fire is going to tribute off the Jasmine to summon our Loki. With the Loki, we're going to make a Dryas. Dryas is going to grab the Sunvine Sowing. Sunvine Sowing, summon a Twin, reborn the Loki, trigger the Dryas to summon a monster for the extra deck, and then we're going to link it off into another Jasmine. Then it's important, do not turn Loki into a Dryas. You have to turn the effect monster into a Dryas, the non-effect monster Loki into the Sunvine Healer. Get healing, trigger the Jasmine, search our deck for a Rika Princess. With the Princess, we're not going to summon it yet. We're now going to be making a Melius. Melius reborn the Loki, and then the Link 2 is going to do a crazy effect. The Link 2 says that it can target a insect, plant, or reptile you control, put it to the bottom of the deck, and then special summon this card from the graveyard, and it doesn't get banished, it leaves the field, so you could do the effect again during the next turn. And if you use it on an extra deck monster like the Melius, which is not a hard once per turn, return it back, resummon it, do it again. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to return the Melius back in the extra deck to summon the Skeletal Soldier. We're going to use the Twin to banish off our Link to summon a Jasmine from the graveyard because we have 2 Jasmines in grave. We're then going to special summon the Rika Princess. We're going to make a Dryas, make a second copy of the Healer, so you can't make this play on TCG. Trigger the Healer, trigger the Jasmine, search our deck for a Mudan. Mudan is here. We're going to be making a second Melius, reborn the Loki. We're now going to be making a Dance Peon. Dance Peon is going to be milling 3 cards off the top of the deck. All 3 of your impermanences gone, but the other effect is we're going to use the Princess in the graveyard to turn both monsters she's pointing to into level 4. So these summoning positions matter. You can't mess this up. So become level 4. Now make a Strenna. We're going to now make a Bengal Lancer. We're going to use the Strenna to add back the Blossom for next turn to be used. We're going to use the Mudan to tribute over the Strenna. Trigger the Mudan and the Strenna to summon the Hypertron. Hypertron is going to be able to negate a spell or monster during the opponent's turn. And the Mudan is going to grab the Rika Con. We're going to suck up a spell in response to us activating a spell, set up the Rika Sheet. Now we can sheet on the opponent. So through this, the disruptions we have about 5 disruption and good follow-up. So we have the field spell, which could tribute a monster the opponent controls. We have sheet to sheet on the opponent by taking control of a monster. We have Princess in the graveyard, which can negate a monster. We have the Bang Link 4 to spin a monster back. And we have the Hyperton to negate a monster/spell. Now, if we wanted, if we had some extenders, we could have also searched for the new Ragnarika Trap, which could pop a card in the field. So that would be 6 disruptions normally if you have at least some extenders and you don't get disrupted too much while making this combo. And allow me to show you the follow-up plays we also have in addition to all this disruption. So they're going to go. They're not going to do much, you know, whatever, a normal computer. I'm just going to show you the follow-up plays. So the follow-up plays is the Blossom, the Ragnarika Bloom, and the Engraved Skeletal Soldier, all activatable on the follow-up. So we're going to return back the Bengal Lancer or another monster. We're going to return that back. We're going to then use its effect to reborn the Evil Seed. Evil Seed could search for the trap, which I said if you had enough extenders, you could search for this on your turn 1, which target cards your opponent controls up to the number of different monster types among the link monsters you control. Generally, it's probably just going to be one plant, but if you also have a non-plant link, it'll be popping more than one card. And then we're going to be making, this is good for the follow-up, Aroma Rosemary. The OCG is not playing Aroma cards in the main deck to search with this. They're instead using this for the follow-up to banish cards in the field. We can banish any card in the field. And we have the Bloom. Bloom's going to summon from the graveyard. The Bengal Lancer could reborn from the grave. We're going to, you know, send that, banish any card on the field, summon the Lone Fire Blossom, summon whatever you want from the deck. And you can't see it, but I have 0 cards left in my extra deck. I have nothing. That's it. 0 cards. Between 2 turns, we used every single card in our extra deck. All 15 are gone. In the TCG, we should look at the last 6 months, honestly, because, you know, the meta over there is a mess. So the last 6 months, this is going to be the best way for you to gauge this, probably. We're going to type in Rika. Rika is down here, okay? So if you want, you could, let's see, type this in. Ragnarika. It was released in the TCG April 2024. So if we want to be more precise on this, we could do a custom date. So we're going to put in April 2024, April, I forgot what day it was. Let's just April 1st till now. Today, search, and Rika is where? Rika's here. So Rika is about there within since the release of the Ragnarika cards. And if we go on over to the OCG, in the OCG, the Ragnarika cards are a bit, you know, they didn't come out at the same time. Ragnarika, it came out January in the OCG. So we'll set this to January. January, just do January 1st, whatever, search. And Rika is where? All the way down here. So, you know, I'm just being upfront with you. I'm giving it to you straight. I mean, we have all the decks that topped any tournament, regional, locals, large event, big events, tier 3 events, tier 2 events, tier 1 events, and, you know, it's here. But, you know, that's okay. The deck was good enough to get hit by the TCG. Dryas and Sunvine Healer got limited to 1, and this is how the TCG is playing it. 60 cards because of those hits. They're playing it with Aroma and the Ragnarika cards. So I'll show you an example deck list of what this looks like. Something like, look, got first place of German National Championship. You got to be freaking kidding me. That's wild. And here's another one, top 64, top 16, second place. Now let's switch on over to OCG. Now in the OCG, they're playing at 41 cards instead. So this is what the deck's looking like. And then here are some decks. You know, a lot of these are smaller tournaments, but here's a bigger one, 360 player, top 16. This is the deck list that I was doing the combo with. So something like this, looking good. If you want to keep it nice and compact and not play the Aroma cards, or you could copy the way of the TCG. But, you know, they have more room in their extra deck. You saw with my combo, I used all 15 cards plus the Rosemary on the follow-up. I guess the question is, and you can help me with this, I don't know definitively on this, do we have enough room for the other Aroma extra deck monsters if we have our triple Dryas and double Sunvine Healer that we may want to play in the deck? Maybe we don't. Maybe we do. So maybe even with the multiple Dryas and Sunvine Healer, we could still play the Aroma cards in addition to that. Or otherwise, the TCG looks like they limited these cards to sell Aroma. And it worked, kind of, yeah. So I'm excited for the Aroma cards and the Ragnarika. That is pretty much it for the review. Thank you very much. Let's go.